Good evening, Parkland. Today is Friday, October 6th, 2023. In this year's first episode of Parkland Profile, we'll introduce Parkland TV's Trojan of the Week program, get to know our high school guidance counselors, check out the annual Bloomsburg Fair, explore the Wildlands Conservancy, see what all this Barbenheimer hype is about, and report on the recent writer and actor strikes. I'm executive producer Ethan Silver, and Parkland Profile starts now.
Parkland TV is proud to announce a new program, Trojan of the Week, for those who have gone above and beyond to achieve great things in arts, athletics, academics, and in the community. Have a friend who scored the winning goal, point, or touchdown? Know someone who received a gold key in Scholastic Art Awards? All students in grades 9 through 12 are eligible to be nominated for Trojan of the Week. Accomplishments made by Parkland High School students should be recognized, and now they will be. Parents, teachers, faculty, and community members can nominate students in grades 9 through 12 who accomplished something outstanding outside of school. They can submit these nominations on a weekly Google form linked on the Parkland TV website. A group of nominees will be chosen and will be announced on Fridays during midday news. Voting will open that Saturday until Wednesday. All the votes will be tallied on Thursday, and the winner will be announced on the morning news on Friday. Now, the most important part, free stuff. Winners will receive a super cool t-shirt brought to you by EBC Printing and a gift card from one of our participating sponsors.
Thanks, Chloe. Whether you're a stage manager, a football MVP, or an academic scholar, everyone is a contender to be Trojan of the Week. But students aren't the only people in the school that deserve recognition. Now, let's hear about all of Parkland High School's hard-working guidance counselors.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Terrell. I do the beginning of the alphabet. My last names are A to B-R-N. I live with my 4-year-old golden retriever. His name's Blue. He's a big boy, but he's my buddy. Me and him, we hang out every day. I've been at Parkland. I was at Springhouse Middle School for the last 2 years. This is my first year up at the high school. I also went to Parkland when I was a student coming through here, and this is where I graduated from.
I have been at Parkland High School since the fall of 1996. I'm a firm believer that Sheets is so much better than Wawa, and it's not even close. I'm the advisor to the Asian Language Culture Club and the Law Club. I am the PA announcer for Parkland football games, basketball games, and wrestling. I was in the 2012 production of Hello Dolly with Mr. Nonia, was one of 20 faculty members doing a 6-minute dance scene, and I love watching Marvel movies or anything Marvel with my daughter Addison.
Hi, I'm Ryan Humes. My letters, my alphabet are D-E-T to G-A-Q. This is my 22nd year at Parkland High School. I guess I would consider myself a pretty active person. I like to work out. I coach sports, I like being around sports, and being involved in that somehow, some way.
My name is Mr. Gordon, and my letters are G-A-R through H-O-K. This is the start of my 18th year.
What's your favorite subject when you were in school?
I would go with astronomy, primarily because everywhere I go, people say I just take up space.
What is one trait your students, friends, and family and coworkers will notice about you?
I would say my height. You could always tell which one was picked first for volleyball, basketball, sports like that. So I would go with my height.
My name is Bruna Wachowski, and I work with the alphabet letters of H-O-L to L-A-K. In my free time, I enjoy playing with my 2-year-old son and spending any time that I can with him outside. I have traveled to 19 states and 7 different countries. My favorite food is pizza.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Tabarani. I live with my husband Pete and our 3 kids, AJ, Peter, and Olivia. This is my 20th year at Parkland. I started in 2004. I'm not too much of an outdoorsy person, but I do enjoy going to the beach and being in my pool when the weather is warm, so I love summer for that reason.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Carnegie, and I have the letters of the alphabet M-I-M through P-L-N. I live with my husband and my son. I like to be outside and do things. I like to go for vacations at the beach, be outside, spend time with family and friends.
Hello, I'm Mrs. McGar. We have a dog named Roxy. She is a Lab Chihuahua mix, which is an odd combination, but she's the best dog for sure. And then we have 2 domestic cats. Prior to coming to Parkland, I worked at Kids Peace for about 8 years in the residential program there. I love to go to concerts and sporting events and reading. Those are probably my top activity things, but also, of course, spending time with family and friends.
Hi, I'm Mr. Rosado, school counselor at Parkland High School. This is my 4th year as a counselor. So I was a special education teacher here in the building for 12 years before I got into counseling. And prior to that, I was in the nightclub business, I was in the mortgage business, and I was a personal trainer right out of college. So those are the different things I've done. My free time, always up for a good workout. I'm a sports dad, so most of my time is running my daughter around across the country for her club soccer, which I thoroughly enjoy.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Thomas. My letters of the alphabet are TH, F through Z. This is my 31st year at Parkland. I live with my husband and I have 3 children. I have a German Shepherd dog that I just adopted at the end of June, and she is almost 3 years old. And right now I'm trying to get her integrated with my 2 calico cats that I've had for 8 years. So that's been my challenge this summer, is to kind of get everybody to get along and live happily together.
Hi, I'm Mrs. McPeak. I'm one of the school counselors here at the high school. I help with career-related activities. I help send out information for the guidance department, all kinds of different things to help out all the counselors here, and I'm also the head swim and dive coach. This is my 6th year with Parkland. In my free time, I like to coach swimming and travel.
So my advice to all students here at Parkland, if you want to have a great high school experience, is get involved.
Be involved.
Get involved.
Get involved. Get involved in something.
Whether it's clubs, activities, sports.
Whatever it may be.
Work hard.
Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Try new things.
Think positive thoughts, remain positive, and you'll make it through whatever the challenges are.
The more you reach out
To your teachers or a counselor.
the better your high school experience will be.
They're always here to help you out and only want to see you succeed now and in the future.
Seeing all the hard work our guidance counselors put in makes me all the more grateful for the time I have to go out and have fun. Last week, Parkland TV returned to the Bloomsburg Fair with all of its exciting festivities. Next up is news correspondent Kayla Halle with the story.
I'm Kayla Halle, and I'm here with Parkland TV at the Bloomsburg Fair 2023. We're here at the livestock complex, and we're going to go talk to some animals and their owners. How are you doing today, Perch?
We have some sheep. They're like munching away right now though, so I don't know if any of them are gonna want to talk to us. These are hungry boys. Let's ask them. Are you an alpaca or a llama? Do you want to be interviewed today? How are you today? Are you enjoying your meal? I think that's a yes. That's a little too close for me. Oh, you're Scottish black-faced sheep, right? I think that's... Yeah, none of these are really interesting. I don't really know what to do with myself anymore.
After striking out with the animals, I decided it might be best to ask their owners questions on their behalf.
So what is your name and how long have you been doing this?
My name's Landon Wolf and I've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years.
So what is this animal's name?
Whistle.
How old?
6 months.
Oh my goodness. So what is the process of getting these animals to the Bloomsburg Fair?
Just maintaining them, washing them, make sure they look good for show.
So what is your name and how long have you been here at the Bloomsburg Fair?
My name's Emma Thomas and I've been here for like 7 years.
What is it like getting these cows here to the Bloomsburg Fair?
It's a lot of work, a lot of preparation.
So what is the end goal with this? Like, you raise these cows, what happens then?
Well, to do good in all your classes here, we get Grand or Reserve, and then just to have the best looking steer in the end, the best product.
My name is Jessica Zalecki. This is the Benton Cider Mill. So there's a truck of apples back there. The apples go up an elevator into a grinder. They get grounded up into like an apple mash. The guy in the back then has a hose. He puts them in between cheesecloths and wooden crates. He pushes it over. It goes on a hydraulic system, pushes it up, and then the juice comes out. And then we jug it.
All right. Yeah. Is there anything you add to it, or is it all fresh?
It's all fresh. There's no preservatives, no sugar, nothing like that. So it's literally just apple to jug.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We are here in the Agricultural Hall celebrating the farmers of Pennsylvania. In the agricultural halls, farmers can give their best crops to be rated and placed with a ribbon. This one is 650 pounds and it wasn't even placed. That's how big some of these are. This year's first place pumpkin is 1,621 pounds, grown by Robert Broyan in Berwick, PA. Like last year, we met up with CDE Exotics to talk about what they do at the Reptile Sanctuary.
My name is Cameron English. I'm the owner-operator of CDE Exotics. I have a rescue and I have the business. So we sell, we breed, we rescue, rehab, rehome, a little bit of everything. Love it.
What kind of animals do you have here?
Bunch of snakes. I love snakes. We have some rodents, some lizards. I have a caiman on display, some tortoises. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
Almost 23 years.
Oh, wow. How did you get started with all of it?
I always say I was born to love reptiles, and pretty much that's the way you have to be. I was never said no to about keeping reptiles. We kept them proper. I had a very fortunate childhood, and I thank my mom and father every day, you know. So, and then it has become this. So it's just overloaded.
Mr. Greth just informed me of the most devastating information I have heard over the past month, 2 months. The beef and cheddar stand that I was told about weeks ago is closed, and I will not be able to get one today. I am devastated.
This is all he has been talking about for the past entire time that we knew we were coming here.
After waiting an entire year, Mr. Greth finally got his beef and cheddar. To conclude our day at the fair, we walked around the rides section and put our very own Nolan Montez up to the test.
Nolan Montez, how are you feeling that you are about to ride the mechanical bull?
You know, I'm feeling pretty nervous. I've never done something like that before, but I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stay on.
Let's see how he does. We are back with Nolan Montez. He lasted 15 seconds on the bull. How do you feel about that time?
You know, it was a little rough, but next time I'm gonna get to 16 seconds.
Awesome, thank you.
We would like to thank the Bloomsburg Fair for having Parkland TV back this year for food, fun, and the friends we made along the way. For Parkland TV, I'm Kayla Haley. Back to you, Ethan.
Thanks, Kayla. As fun as fairs are, though, spending time in nature never goes out of style. Let's head into the wilderness with news correspondent Xander Blickley at the Wildlands Conservancy.
Hi, I'm Xander Blickley, and I'm here at the Wildlands Conservancy in Emmaus. I'm here with Haley today, and she's going to be telling us about our little friend here, Aster the skunk. Haley, can you tell me some cool things about Aster here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Aster is a striped skunk, and she is a native species here in Pennsylvania, so this is an animal that you'd be able to see in your own backyard. Aster is about 2 years old, and she is a female, but it's hard to tell if they're a male or a female just by looking at them, but the females tend to be a little bit smaller than the males. Aster is a striped skunk, but she has a pinstripe pattern on her back. Skunks are just like people in that their stripe is different from skunk to skunk, just like our fingerprints are. Skunks have a reputation for spraying, and they can spray up to 10 feet as a form of self-defense. Their spray is an oil, so if it gets into your eyes or your nose, it really, really stings. And for that reason, they don't have very many natural predators. But skunks don't really want to spray you. They do save that for life-threatening danger. Their first form of defense will be to run away and to avoid you completely. But if they are trapped, they will stomp, growl, and raise their tail to warn you that they're going to spray before they actually do it. And that is because they have very little spray, and once they use it all up, it takes them about 2 weeks to make that spray again. So they are defenseless for a couple of weeks.
Hi, I'm Aurora Geary here at Wildlands Conservancy with Haley and the opossum Maple. Can you tell me a little bit about our opossum here, Haley?
Yeah, absolutely. Maple is about 3.5 years old, which is pretty old for an opossum. In the wild, their lifespan is only about 2 years. We have Maple because she has a pretty sad backstory. Unfortunately, Maple's mom was hit by a car, and a very kind person knew to check that possum's pouch to see if there were babies inside. And sure enough, Maple and her siblings were still alive in there. Maple went to a wildlife rehabilitation center with the hopes that she would live back out in the wild, but Maple is actually imprinted on humans, which means that she sees them as friends, and that is not safe for wild animals, of course. Possums are the only marsupial that we have here in North America. So that means that they carry their babies in a pouch just like a kangaroo would. Their babies stay in their pouch for about 1 month, and when they emerge, they ride around on their mom's back for about 1 month, and they can have up to 13 babies. Maple here is very, very good at climbing. They have some really neat adaptations that allow them to do so. Their feet are specifically adapted in order to be able to climb trees, and they also have a prehensile tail. So they can use their tail to grab onto branches and bark to help them balance better.
Haley, who do we have here with us today?
This is Bartram. Bartram is an eastern screech owl. Eastern screech owls are the second smallest species of owl that we have here in Pennsylvania. The first is the northern saw-whet owl. Bartram is a brown-phase screech owl, but they come in 2 other colors as well. They come in gray and a beautiful rusty red color. We have Bartram here at Wildlands Conservancy because she is actually disabled from a vehicle collision. When she was hit by a car, it rendered her blind in her left eye, so she is no longer able to see on that side, and their vision is extremely important for them to be able to catch their prey. They are nocturnal, so they rely on their excellent vision to be able to see at night, and they can see 100 times better than us at night and 10 times better than us during the day. Because they are so small, they also eat insects in addition to small animals like rodents and small reptiles. They are able to turn their head 270 degrees because they have twice as many vertebrae in their neck. They have 14 while we only have 7. Bartram here is extremely lightweight because eastern screech owls, as well as all other birds, have hollow bones. So their bones are hollow like a straw in order to save weight for flying.
Thank you guys again so much for having us here today. It was a blast, and I just want to say this is just like me having fun when I was here when I was little, here at Wildlands Conservancy, and I just didn't realize when I was younger how much work and effort you guys put into this. Can you guys elaborate a little bit more on that?
Wildlands Conservancy is the premier nonprofit land trust for the Lehigh Valley and Lehigh River watershed.
For the last 50 years, we've been creating lasting connections to nature through education, land protection, and environmental stewardship. We've protected 60,000 acres in the Lehigh Valley and Lehigh River watershed. We have 14 nature preserves open dawn to dusk. Our environmental educators are a bunch of wild animals, and they get help from our human colleagues like Haley here to educate hundreds of students every year on the importance of land protection in our region. If you're interested in a career in conservation or would like to donate, visit our website at wildlandspa.org and feel free to follow us on social media at wildlandspa.
Thanks, Xander. If you haven't been living under one of the rocks at Wildlands, you've heard about the latest movie mania that's sweeping the nation, Barbenheimer. What's it all about? Are these the best movies of the decade? News correspondent Nolan Montez has the answers.
It's got just about everything. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and Chinese propaganda. And that's why Senator Ted Cruz is mad at the Barbie movie.
Is Mattel CEO, you know, Price, who's an executive producer on the movie.
You see right here, next to Asia,
You say that
Mattel
does
not.
Unfortunately, I wasn't one of the lucky many to see Barbie and Oppenheimer in the same day, back to back, but I do assure you I have seen both. And I thought they were both absolutely incredible, each in their own way. But we're going to save my opinions for later. We're going to start with the definition. According to Wikipedia, surely not the most trustworthy source, but anyway. A Barbenheimer is an instance of counter-programming, a marketing strategy in which a tonally different film was released on the same day as a major film to appeal to an underrepresented group. In shorter words, basically what the studios behind both films did, releasing two movies of very different genres on the same day. Time for some history. For the majority of Christopher Nolan's career, he worked with Warner Brothers, releasing the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Interstellar, and many more. Their relationship with each other was consistent, up until Tenet. Christopher Nolan, being a huge fan of releasing movies in theaters, was not very happy to hear Warner Brothers' plan of releasing Tenet on HBO Max, and not in theaters worldwide, as well as the studio's failure to tell any of the parties involved with the release of Tenet. Nolan, feeling disrespected by the studio, decided to end his relationship with them. Of course, Warner Brothers couldn't go down without a fight. Warner Brothers, being the producers of Barbie, decided that it would be a great idea to take revenge on Nolan and release Barbie on the same day as Nolan's newest film, Oppenheimer. Warner Brothers really thought they did something, but they didn't. Releasing both films on the same day was supposed to take money away from Oppenheimer, but it ended up being a huge deal, bringing people to theaters all across America, binging both movies in the same day. This was a huge loss for Warner Brothers, even though Barbie made nearly $1.5 billion. This was still a loss because Warner Brothers anticipated Barbie destroying Oppenheimer, but this wasn't the case. Oppenheimer made nearly $777 million in the box office, far surpassing the $100 million budget. Warner Brothers accidentally made one of the biggest movie phenomenon in the history of cinema, and Nolan got lucky. He made an incredible movie. Opinion time. Although some people have very strong feelings about Barbie, I personally thought it was a fantastic film, delivering clever humor, incredible performances, and important messaging. Ryan Gosling is the embodiment of Ken, delivering all of the Kenergy. That's just ridiculous. Margot Robbie was the perfect choice for Barbie, and she brought all of the emotions. I will admit, I teared up a bit. The set design was breathtaking. Greta Gerwig did a fantastic job bringing Barbie Land to life. Now for some complaints. My biggest complaint is the pacing. The pacing is all over the place. The intro is way too long. The middle is fine, but the ending goes by way too quickly. It barely gave me any time to think about what I just watched. But besides that, this movie was a pleasant surprise. I thoroughly enjoyed Barbie. Wow. Just wow. Christopher Nolan did it again. He really made a movie that featured just a bunch of dudes talking for 3 hours genuinely incredible. It is really difficult to make a movie solely based on dialogue actually enjoyable, but he did it. Nolan uses quick and smart dialogue to keep your mind racing, and boy does it race because this movie goes at a breakneck speed. The visuals are stunning, although I don't want to spoil it, so I won't linger on the visuals. This movie is very well paced, not having anything that doesn't belong. And oh boy is this movie intense, oftentimes feeling like a horror movie. I physically jumped out of my seat at a certain point. If you've seen it, you know what point. The performances by Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr., for example, are Oscar-worthy, each bringing their A game to the table, delivering such a raw performance that we're a joy to see. Overall, Oppenheimer is my movie this summer. I thought it was absolutely incredible. What a great summer for us movie lovers. Though, having seen all the movies I wanted to over the summer, I have an empty feeling in my heart. Sadly, we won't be getting any new monumental movies for a long while, around March to be exact, with the release of Dune Part 2. But I'm satisfied with the Barbenheimer release. They were truly something else to see on the big screen. To finish things off, I just want to remind you all that although these movies came out on the same day, that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. There is no Barbie versus Oppenheimer war. We simply just got two incredible films that release on the same day. So stop asking me which movie I liked better. They were both great. Not one's better than the other, so stop asking me. Anyway, have a good day, Parkland.
Thanks, Nolan. With all of these great movies coming out, we often take for granted the actors and writers that work on these productions. Here is news correspondent Jordan Silver with all you need to know about the recent strikes, including an exclusive interview with a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Hello, Parkland. I'm high school freshman Jordan Silver, and today I'll discuss the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strike of 2023, aka the Writers and Actors Strike. The story starts in April of 2023, when the WGA asked the Writers of America to strike, and on April 17th, 98% of writers voted to strike. This halted and canceled many developing projects for streaming services and movie theaters. When adjusting for inflation, writers' pay has decreased by 23% over the last decade, while streamers' profits have been rising exponentially. Now that most shows are on streaming services, writers were being paid small residual payments, which is the payment that writers receive when their work is re-released. The final point that writers made is to limit the use of AI in the writers' room. 2 months later, on July 17th, the SAG-AFTRA actors joined the strike.
We are being victimized by a very greedy entity. We stand in solidarity, in unprecedented unity. You share the wealth because you cannot exist without us.
While the actors of SAG-AFTRA are still striking, finally, on September 27th, the WGA had ended their strike with the AMPTP after reaching a deal 3 days prior. This contract will last until 2026. This allowed many projects to resume production, such as many late-night TV shows airing a week after the strike ended. Actors such as Aaron Paul say that studios do not pay him any residuals for Breaking Bad, despite it being one of the most watched shows on Netflix.
I don't get a piece from Netflix on Breaking Bad. I think a lot of these streamers, they know that they have been getting away with not paying people.
Also, the actors are fighting for better working conditions that have affected stuntmen, dancers, singers, voice actors, and trailer announcers.
We will not be having our jobs taken away and giving to robots. We will not have you take away our right to work and earn a decent living. We will not allow you to take away our dignity.
Now we have an interview with Dylan Orlando, an actor who is currently striking for SAG-AFTRA. Prior to the strike, as a member of SAG-AFTRA, can you tell us about your professional life?
I had just joined SAG, and I worked on a show called Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I worked for consecutive days, and I did a few other gigs that were under the SAG umbrella, and I got really excited, and I joined the union, and then 2 days later, we went on strike.
What does the union want to end the strike?
The contract is extensive. They're asking for fair compensation. The residual agreement, I believe was last, I'm not positive, but I believe it was last negotiated in 2007. So streaming was never accounted for. It was all just based on cable views. That's not really a thing anymore. But the biggest issue is dealing with AI and generative AI. There's no doubt that that technology is rising really fast, and it's already started to be used in films. I believe Disney made a deal with James Earl Jones to use AI for the voice of Darth Vader going forward.
Kenobi means nothing. I serve only you, my master.
The problem is when they were saying that we are going to use AI to replace all background actors, and we're going to use AI to cut costs instead of giving actors work. That's where we started fighting.
When do you think these companies will cooperate to the actors' demands?
I do believe that a lot of the companies are ready to make a deal. The problem is these companies are negotiating through a group called the AMPTP. So what these strikes have forced them to do is it's forced them to talk to each other. But some companies are losing more money during these strikes than other companies. So those companies are more likely to want to make a deal, but they can't unless everyone in the AMPTP agrees.
What's it like every day out there on the street striking?
I have a position at 30 Rock, NBC, where it's one of the New York picket locations, and I'm one of the chant callers. You know, the energy there is so much fun. It's like electric. And so we're really making the best out of a bad situation.
Shut it down! Shut it down! When I say contract, you say now! Contract! 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 Now!
Have you met any leadership roles of the strike?
Yeah, so even before we went on strike, I worked with Ezra Knight, who is the president of the New York branch of SAG. We worked together on a show called This Land Was Made over at the Vineyard Theater. So we worked together, and I had no idea that he was the president of the strike. So I believe I've interacted with the majority of the leadership for the East Coast.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
We want to be working on our shows, and we want to be watching the shows too. We want these shows to get made. So it's really in the studio's hands, and we're trying our hardest. One day longer, one day stronger. Woohoo!
As of today, SAG-AFTRA is still negotiating fair terms with the AMPTP. With the writer's strike ended, hopefully a resolution can be reached for the actors. Back to you, Ethan.
Thanks, Jordan. And that's all for tonight's episode of Parkland Profile. Tune in next month for more. Signing off, I'm your host, Ethan Silver. Have a great evening, Parkland.